the gospel tune to set your heart for what we have for you. And moving from there will be an interactive session with your host Grace Susan. And today on Middle Pages, she wants to look at the role of environmental protection in prevention of cholera outbreak. You know about this. It's a recent occurrence, so it calls for serious attention. So this is what we want to let you into, as well as for you to know how to go about preventing it around your corner. And when we move from there, we also have something else for your information, for your education, and this is on the drive behind young people's involvement in cyber crime. This is very prevalent, and we want to look at issues around it. What motivates them? Why is it so rampant? These and more will come your way on this bit of the program, Tuesday Heartbeat AM for 5. And before we go, we shouldn't and we won't forget, because it is our tradition to make you laugh more, and this will come your way on entertainment bit with Kamkoda and his crew, like I said, to make you laugh out loud and to relieve that tension. I am your host and friend Caroline Otu. Remember, you can follow us on this program via her Heartbeat, yes, at AKBC Radio and TV, and that is our Facebook page. And you can also do that, join this program on our YouTube channel at AKBC TV. Do stay with us and enjoy every bit of this program. Good morning.
Everything you go through in life is preparing you for your next assignment. My father was a police officer, so I lived in the barracks. A barracks like a mini in Nigeria, you find everybody there. My dad's salary, of course, couldn't meet the family income, so I had to sell soft drinks for my mother so that we can make up the family income. I used to take soft drinks from our home and I'll go to the airport and sell. It was fun. I didn't know I was going to ever get into hotel business. So eventually, my coke hawking helped me later in life when I started running my hotel. Those little things you did became building blocks for my later days in life. And you know what? My house was built on the same street I used to go through to hawk. And so everybody that saw me hawk these soft drinks for my mother, when I bought a land there and built my house, all of those people were still alive. It's like, some of them had to bring their children to help me mentor these kids. Today, when I drive around the streets, sometimes you find people sell and you stop by. I just remember, it used to be like this. That hawking has helped me today to be able to serve the people. Accept the things you can't change and change the things you can, and ensure that you just have the fear of God in you. I think the only person that can stop you from achieving what God has set out for you is you.
Akwa Ibom is rising.
Food for success is a fuel. Any vehicle that want to drive to a certain destination, without a fuel or petrol or PMS, as we call it most times, you will not get to your destination. So how determined have you been on your goals, your dreams, your passion? You know, sometimes many people relegate themselves to the background and perhaps will lead their lives to blaming every other person except themselves. No. Determination has to do with you. If you just said, hey, I'm going to get this done, you will surely get it done. It's a force. Determination is a force that drives oneself to achieving your goals and your dreams. Alright, that's just a preamble. I have a young man in the house whom I strongly believe on, and in most cases he usually standing here on the program. Sometimes I do with him, sometimes he always anchor when I'm not available on seat, and he's no other person than Minister Pastor. So you know, God. Good morning, man of God.
Good morning, good to see you.
It's good to have you on the program today.
Thank you.
You know, there's something about it that always thrills me, the way you laugh. Yeah, I just like it, okay? Now, we talk about determination, sir.
Yes.
Every school of thoughts has what determination means to them. An individual has what determination means to him or her. Dictionary also in different editions,
Exactly.
and whoever propounded it or whoever anchored it or authored it has what determination means to them. But this is directly to you, Soride Modoko. So beyond the general opinion of determination, what does determination mean to you?
Thank you so very much. To me, determination means the discipline to do what you are meant to do when you are meant to do, irrespective of the seeming challenges on your way in order to fulfill life's purpose.
Wow.
Because the truth about life is every route you are taking. For example, when we came to the studio this morning, you came in from another direction, I came in from another direction, and I believe we faced some hold up and maybe some things that would have made us to step aside, but the goal was for us to arrive here. So on its own, it takes determination, irrespective of the hurdles on the road, that we must ensure that we are right at the studio.
Wow.
So it is that discipline that you need to inculcate in order to achieve your goals.
Wow, that discipline is what you need in order to achieve your goals, your dreams, your ambition. And then he used a very striking scenario. And it looks very simple, but it means a whole lot. You know, determination is a means to an end. He left the house, I left my house, and then the goal was to meet here at the studio in order to be a blessing to you, right? And here we are. There were hurdles, perhaps. The person that drives you did carelessly. Afobo, let me use that down. Right? That was still a means to an end. Or the person is driving slowly. Say, hey, sir, please, could you do it faster? It was still many of that. In the process of life, even when you've determined, there will be things that will come in between to distract.
Exactly.
But when you have it at the back of your mind, hey, listen, I have a journey to undertake and I have a goal to achieve. My friend, even with those seemingly challenges, you will still forge ahead. Wow, so it's a discipline, right?
It's a discipline.
I love that.
Yes, sir.
Doing what you should do at the right time.
At the right time.
Wow. So now someone asked me, Emmanuel, what is your, so Rhythm has defined his own determination according to his own terms. What is your own? My own is simple. Determination is being who you were meant to be. Determination, being whom you were meant to be. Do you know what? It takes determination to maintain your posture, even when things around you doesn't supposed so. It takes determination not to change identity, even when all the forces in hell, so to speak, or around here seems to make it change. It takes determination to maintain your focus, even when challenges are coming from north, south, east, and west. This is all it is. Being whom you were meant to be. There are situations in life, you hear people, I think I shared a story last Tuesday week. A young man who grew up loving golf, passionately, and then suddenly he knew that he was very lean in stature. And then to him, I don't know why that mentality came to him. He now made a resolution that he can never make a good golfer because he's very lean in stature. One day he walked to the father. He said, "Dad, I don't think I'm going to make a good golfer, even when you know I love golf." The father said, "No." "Okay, why would you say this?" He said, "Daddy, because of this, because..." His father said, "No, son. This is not what determines who succeed or not." Now you see, he wanted to use his stature or maybe his skinny components to derail himself from being whom God wanted him to be. There's a time, and there will come a time that every forces around you will now make it to shift what you believe or not. So determination will always make you step put. So that is my own way of this determination. And I'm sure you watching us, you also have your own definition, which I may not want to know, but just whatever works for you, just keep it down, right? Now, man of God.
Yes, sir.
Determination is an engine, or is a fuel that runs an engine. So do you think that determination has any relationship to one's success in life?
Exactly. Like you said, it's the fuel. I heard somewhere, I can't really recall the name of the person, that life will only give you what you demand and not what you deserve. Like, you may feel, okay, I've grown up to a certain stage, I should be able, they should give me this, I should be able to own this. You're just wishing. But those things will not just fly into you. You need to take some deliberate steps, deliberate, calculated steps. And in the course of taking these steps, you will face some issues, some distractions and all of that. So it is determination that will keep you going. And there's this belief I have. Once you're convinced, that is the number one thing you need to do before you embark on any course, any journey, any goal, any vision. Ensure that you have personal conviction. Because even people around you, even people at times out of their goodwill, they may tell you, "Don't you think it's this thing, you will not be able to do it? Are you sure you have the finance that will help you?" It is that conviction that you had. You knew what you saw, the vision that you saw. You had the clarity. Exactly the same thing that happened to Joseph. He knew what he saw. So despite the distractions, or even David, when he arrived at the camp where there was serious battle and all of that, his own brothers discouraged him, but he knew what he fought before. So it is that personal conviction inside you that will keep you going, which is all about that is a determination. That will give it determination. It's an energy, that hidden energy within you that keeps pushing you towards your goals.
Oh, that energy within that keep pushing you. All right.
Exactly.
You made two vital points, which I'm going to rephrase on them.
All right.
Now, you made a quote that you said you cannot recall who said it.
Yes,
now,
sir.
that reminded me something of what I saw yesterday. There's a young man in this state, immediate past commissioner for information and strategy, whom I love and I respect him a lot. He made a whole lot of sense. You can't sit with him for a minute, 2 or 5, sincerely, without learning something. I've never sat with him in any communication without learning something. Now, this is something he posted yesterday. Now, you said that life will not give you what you deserve, something like that.
But what you demand.
But what you demand. Good.
Yes.
So he has something on his timeline yesterday, which I had to use it on my status. He started to say, people usually have a choice to make between the desirable and the available.
I think I saw it.
Now, he said, work to become the desirable, not just the available.
Wow.
So now, the working aspect is the determination aspect.
Exactly.
You work to become the desirable, not just the available. So the question would be, there are so many indices that will determine whether you are the desirable or the available. First, we talked about Joseph, right? Was it Joseph?
Yes,
you mentioned Joseph. He said he knew what he saw.
Yes.
So the question is, my friend, do you know what God told you about you? Because that should be the driving force. when you know the route he had already determined for you to walk, then whatever other distracting voices that will come behind, you will not listen to them. Your eye will be on the goal, just like Paul said. He said, for I am steadily looking up to the goal that was set ahead of me.
Exactly.
So what is right before you? David would have been distracted. Joseph would have been distracted, but he saw something ahead of him. So now let's come back home. Are you going to be the desirable, or just the, remember, when you're just available, you might be relegated to the background at any point, but when you become the desirable, you'll be cherished. They will know they can never do without
Exactly.
you. And that can only be if you are determined to knowing what you were meant to be, to doing what you were meant to do, and to becoming what you are supposed to be. Determination is needed in life, my friend. It's needed in life. You are in school already. You can determine to be the best. Being the best doesn't mean trying to outrun every other person, trying to be, the only cow. What does cow do? Birds sings, right?
Yes.
They said that, okay, lion roar,
Yes.
right? So what does cow do?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. So you cannot be the only lion in the jungle that roars alone, right? So meaning that you can determine to be successful in the class, but not at the detriment of every other person. So that is to say that determination is very important, but determined to be the best, not to victimize others. Be the best, to be a blessing to other people. Determination is very important. Without it, you will not be able to get to the top. Without it. So, man of God, I know, if someone is not determined to succeed, automatically the opposite will be the case,
Exactly.
right? So, are there consequences
Exactly.
to not working or being determined?
Like you had said, you can't sit on the fence. It's either you are determining to succeed,
Okay.
or you may not know that you've determined to fail, but your action shows that you're just determined to fail if you're not taking the necessary steps. I think the other time I cited an example which still happens this morning.
Okay.
As I had to prepare myself and my daughter at the same time,
Okay.
because I needed to drop her off in school.
Okay.
Normally the early hours of the day, it's when you really want to sleep and enjoy the sleep well, but duty calls.
Okay.
There's a vision to be fulfilled. You need to wake up and get prepared and get to school. The same, so I had to wake her up, give her her bed, and dress her or feed her and all of that. And I always discovered that at that initial stage she will not be happy about it, but along the line she will start coping and all of that. So that is life, what life is all about. There are some, these early hours, are still on their bed,
Okay.
thinking that things will just happen on its own. You're just sleeping. In fact, you're just preparing to fail. So it takes deliberate effort, like I said earlier.
Okay.
If not, you will not be happy with where you will end. The thing about it is that, about life is that life can be predicted by your actions.
Okay.
You can predict. I know I'm bringing in the God factor anyway, but your actions per time can predict. We are product of our previous actions.
Okay.
So by what you are doing consistently, it will predict where you are heading if you are determined to succeed. So also, if what you're practicing, if what you're doing is not on the positive side, is not the positive energy, you are just you just
on your
fall
own.
aside. Exactly. sir.
All right, thank you so much. So, Pastor Surinam has given a very typical example of what happened to him today. So, he had to wake up early because he knew he was going to come here, and then the daughter has to be in school. So, he has to dress a good father. No, fathers we celebrated last Sunday, so it's a good father, so you have to do that, and that's amazing. That's amazing. And then there's a point you also make, which
Yes, sir.
I want to differ from what you say. There are people that walk in the night and sleeps in the morning.
No, not. I didn't speak in that
direction.
Exactly.
Okay, so that you will not think.
My wife does that.
Okay,
as well.
so you will not think, hey,
No.
I'm sleeping, I'm having my co-sleep. So does it mean I will not succeed?
No.
I already did the Lord I'm supposed to have done in the night.
No,
So it doesn't mean that, okay.
No.
But the truth is, you must be determined in every steps of the way. Okay, someone just told me, hey man, the mic, bears, chirps, and rattles. So okay, so they don't sing. I was saying that bird sings.
Yes.
So the friend just said, man, the mic, so no, bird chirps or the rattle or the whistle, whichever. Thank you. So now this is it. You must be conscious of your efforts, of your actions and inactions. Be determined by all means. This is a secret. When you fail, they will say, yes, we knew it was going to fail. When you succeed, they will still say, we always knew him was going to succeed. Now you see, the world is a variety of things you will never expect to see. Do you know what? You must build up your mind, never to allow the negatives influence you against what God's will has been for you. I read a scripture the other day, and that scripture got to mind about 15 years ago. When I read it with understanding, it blew my mind. Till today, it still makes a lot of sense to me. That's Psalm chapter number 119, verse 48. This was David talking to God. He said, David said, Lord, remember your promises to me, for they give me strength in my affliction. So your words, I'm paraphrasing it, so your words encourages me. Now, this is a man being determined or being given strength by the word of God. So meaning that no matter what he faces, that we read through the scriptures, he was always focusing on what God said beyond the things he saw. My friend, challenges will always come, and most times it will come unpredictably on things you never thought it would. It will come from the known and the unknown. But the major thing is to determine. I keep saying this thing. Imagine my sitting here. If I fell today, believe me, it's not just about me and my immediate family. I know there will be thousands and millions of people that God had, make them just for me. If I felt that God. So I said, no, it's not possible. No matter what is happening, I must always forge ahead. That is my own personal determination. So how about you? Remember, I keep saying every one of us, we are representing a community. You are a global personality. So are you going to make God proud of you? Are you going to be a blessing to people? There are many students or children walking the streets. No one to help them. And you know what? If only you will determine to be successful, you'll be shocked that those ones were destined for you. I'm just imagining now building a home for them. And then those ones in the street, you house them. You send them to school. And then you see them becoming some professionals that no one would ever thought of. Right? So that's what determination does. So that's why I keep saying, do not fail. Don't even dream to fail. Determine to succeed. Man of God,
yes, sir.
Let's take our discussion back on because we're running off in a few minutes, right?
Yes, sir.
Is it very, very important that someone should determine in life? Is it important, or should we just be careless about our lives?
It's very, very important.
Okay.
It's very important for you to be determined in life because there are things out there that will discourage you, get you discouraged. So I keep telling people that you are your own limitation.
Oh, you are your own limitation.
Nobody can limit you. Nobody has the power to stop what God had ordained you to be, irrespective of, sir. I have some friends who, while growing up, in fact, when they got into the university anyway, and suddenly they first lost their father,
Okay.
later lost their mother. But as I'm talking to you, just looking at them, it will get you back on your feet. You yourself, you'll be motivated you'll be challenged because they have they have, in fact, their life is a message that you're not dependent on, oh, I have my father. There are people like that. They have all manner of excuses to give. Oh, why are you not in school and all of that? there is nothing for you to give as an excuse.
Okay.
Today, so I know one who is a medical doctor.
Okay.
The teaching hospital, the sister is a medical lab scientist. Nobody is just they determined to succeed. So until you are determined, failure will become your second name. So I want to challenge our people, our friends, our loved ones. Stop the pity party. So you know there are people like, if you don't call or to like pity them, they just love to be pitied and not, you know, it won't hurt you. It will hurt you no way.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Pastor Soridem. Thanks a million. So he has given us his parting shot that you just let go of the pity party, determined to succeed. He now gave an analogy of a friend who is a medical doctor and the sister, a lab scientist. Perhaps maybe their parents were not there to help them into school or through school, but they determined to go, and then maybe they have sold things or selling things to find themselves through school. You know, they did all manner of things. So you have no excuse not to succeed. When you succeed, it becomes a global thing. Our sister, whom we celebrated a few weeks ago, Hilda Bassi, determined to stand and cook, and then she entered the Guinness Book of World Record, right? So you can also determine your own. You might not enter Guinness Book of Record, but the truth is, posterity will always remember you for becoming whom God made you to be, in order to be a blessing to your world. So friend, don't give up easily. Please don't. Your dream is very important. Yes, when you succeed, the whole world will succeed. When you fail, every one of us will fail. No matter what you do, no matter how small or little it is, please keep pushing. Push, and then the sky will just be the beginning point. All right, friend. Thanks a million for watching. Thanks for listening. Pastor Soyedem, I want to thank you a lot for making it to the program today. God bless you. All right, see you at the top. See you at the top. God bless you. Bye.
Akwa Ibom State has truly entered its golden era. It was deliberate that we made agriculture the first letter of the Arise acronym.
To ensure food security by bringing down commodity prices, the government launched a Back to Farm initiative and also acquiring hectares of rich, fertile land across all the 31 local government areas for farming. The Arise Food Security Program was also launched to cater for the most vulnerable through the Bulk Purchase Agency.
We have also distributed seedlings and other farm inputs to farmers across the state.
To take agriculture to the next level, we've commenced the technology-driven Shanghai-type Ibom model farm. This will not only multiply harvest for all farmers, but also reduce your costs of operations by ensuring that nothing goes to waste.
Let's join hands in supporting this government as we build the future of our dear state together. Our Rise agenda is working.
Sergeant Mashanu, come here.
I'm coming back for you.
Huh?
You see me today.
See the way you are sweating. Are you palming? Are you fighting wrestling? Wait, are you fighting with yourself? I'm talking to you. Sergeant
Very
Mashanu.
stubborn criminal.
Stubborn criminal. What were you doing?
Collecting confession.
Collecting confession?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, has you confessed?
He was about to confess before you called me, sir.
Oh, before I called you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so call him. Call him.
You come here.
Sergeant stop beating him. Come here.
Yes, sir.
Hey, calm down.
It's not me.
Yes, okay, so relax. Did you do it?
No, I don't do.
Sergeant Wanshanu, did you hear?
I don't
He said
believe
I
him,
don't
sir.
do. Oh, you
I
don't believe him? I think the best way to do is to be beating him like.
See his eyes, sir.
See his. What have anything to do with his eye? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Go back inside. Take him inside.
Inside or go home.
No, not home. We have to investigate you first. Huh? Sergeant Wanshanu,
Yes, sir.
are you alright?
Very alright, sir.
The last time some things got missing here, if I had beaten you like this, will you be able to come back to office the following day? And didn't I come and know that you are the one that made the thing get missing?
Let me go and talk to him, sir.
I'm talking to you.
I'll come, sir.
Sergeant Wanshanu, do you want your promotion?
I want, sir.
Stop torturing our inmates.
Akwa Ibom State has truly entered its golden era. It was deliberate that we made agriculture the first letter of the Arise acronym.
To ensure food security by bringing down commodity prices, the government launched a Back to Farm initiative and also acquiring hectares of rich, fertile land across all the 31 local government areas for farming. The Arise Food Security Program was also launched to cater for the most vulnerable through the Bulk Purchase Agency.
We have also distributed seedlings and other farm inputs to farmers across the state.
To take agriculture to the next level, we've commenced the technology-driven Shanghai-type Igbo model farm. This will not only multiply harvest for all farmers, but also reduce your costs of operations by ensuring that nothing goes to waste.
Let's join hands in supporting this government as we build the future of our dear state together. Our Rise agenda is working.
It's a beautiful morning. It's Tuesday. Good to know that you're there for us. Welcome to Heartbeat Middle Pages. My name is Grace Susan. Yes, this morning we are talking on the role of environmental management in preventing cholera outbreak. I'm sure everyone by now is aware of the fact that there is a threat of cholera around us. And since we have experts in the house, they will tell us if we have it in Akwa Ibom or not, and how we can prevent it from coming to us if we have not gotten it at this moment. I'd like you to join me to make welcome my guest this morning. First, I'd like to introduce to you Mrs. Margaret Tatum, the Director, Health Promotion, Primary Health Care, Akwa Ibom State. She's a regular face here. Good morning, Director.
Good morning.
Good to have you this morning.
Thank you. Good morning, viewers.
Okay, I also have here with me Lovina Ibiok, who is a registered nurse and midwife, is a clinical psychologist. She works with Akwa Ibom State Primary Health Care, and she is also chairman Akwa Ibom Social Behavioral Change Technical Working Group. I'm glad to have you here again, Lovina. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Good morning, viewers.
All right. Joining us virtually, we have Dr. Nestor Udo, the CEO, Wine Empire Uyo. He is the author of The Civil War Child, and he has also authored a book on cholera. So I would like to bring him on. I don't know if we can get him on to say hello before we start. Okay, I think we have lost the signal. Okay, and once he's on, we'll bring him because he has something to share with us, especially on the book he wrote on cholera. So let's go and talk about the role of environmental management in preventing cholera. Okay, yes, this morning I'd like to start with you, the health promotion officer or director health promotion in Akwa Ibom State. This morning, why do we have to talk about cholera outbreak at this time? Why is it important?
Thank you so much. First of all, I believe the people of Akwa Ibom State are aware that we have cholera outbreaks in our neighboring states. I want to let you know that, first of all, cholera is an acute diarrheal disease. Acute in the sense that it comes sudden. It comes sudden, and it is caused by infection of the intestine by the Vibrio cholera bacteria. It is very dangerous if not treated promptly. It lasts between hours to 5 days, whereby the symptoms will come up. So it is better for them to know what actually cholera is before they get to know how it could be prevented. And the preventive aspect mostly has to do with our environment. That's why. So right now in the states, River State, Abia State, Cross River State, they have outbreak of cholera. So we are in the midst of this. Let me clarify a notion here. Like yesterday, while I went to another media house, I was informed Akwa Ibom has cases. No, not 5. We only had suspected cases, which as at yesterday, just 2 suspected cases. And the cases, NCDC officially informed us that the 2 cases turned out to be negative.
Wow, that's amazing.
So that
that's
means Akwa Ibom State, we do not have an outbreak of cholera. But that doesn't mean that we should not be on the side of caution. There's need for us to ensure serious environmental hygiene in our state to make sure that really cholera does not come to Akwa Ibom State. There are certain things we need to do. This cholera, the mode of transmission or how it gets to somebody is as a result of contamination of food or water by the Vibrio cholera. And when the food is being contaminated, the person will manifest some symptoms. And these symptoms are, 1, you have diarrhea. This diarrhea has its own characteristic. It's not ordinary loose stool, but we call it rice watery stool. It's like the rice that you wash to cook. It's whitish and slightly foamy.
That's how it will come out?
Yes, okay. With no consistency at all. So
what do you
we call
mean
it
by no consistency?
It doesn't have solids.
Purely watery.
It's purely water.
Okay.
Foamy. So with this diarrhea, a lot of fluid and minerals have left the person's body. Again, we have excessive vomiting. With diarrhea and vomiting, the person will be very weak, will be dizzy. The person will experience excessive thirst with muscle cramps. There's going to be a fast heartbeat. At the same time, if you measure the blood pressure of that individual, it's going to be subnormal. It's going to be lower than what it's supposed to be. And if not properly treated immediately, death could come in. So that is why it is very important that we, though we do not have the outbreak in Akwa Ibom State, we must tread on the side of caution by adopting the preventive strategies.
Okay.
And that is why we now move into the environmental aspect.
Okay. So since we are looking at the reason behind it, we are looking at our environment. So Lovina, I'd like you to talk about the relationship between cholera and poor sanitation.
Okay, like my director had rightly mentioned that cholera, the transmission of cholera that is transmitted when we ingest food that is contaminated by the Vibrio cholera, that is the bacteria that causes cholera. Either we ingest the food or the water. And how does our food or water get contaminated by the Vibrio cholerae, it is through unsanitary environment. For instance, if we are in an environment where there are open defecation, that's when people defecate, you're not using toilet, maybe defecate by the roadside or by the farm. You know, this is rainy season, so the rains will take the feces into our farms. You know, that's where we have our pumpkins, that's where we have our cucumbers. And so by the time somebody buys a pumpkin that had been contaminated by feces that had the Vibrio cholerae, if the person doesn't wash that vegetable well or the fruit well, and ingest it, the person might come down with the cholera. So that is why maintaining a clean environment is very important. Avoidance of open defecation is very important. Proper disposal of wastes, because sometimes if waste are not...
you can see from our clips there, these are some parts of Uyo, some of the streets in Uyo. This is what we see right inside the town. This is the plaza. If you get there, if you go even now, you may still see this. And so many places along Waniba, you see this. And I'd like you to talk about this. How can we, I don't know, how will this affect us? How can this be a threat to us as it relates to cholera?
Okay, thank you so much. Concerning still on the environmental aspect of the hygiene, my health promotion officer has spoken about open defecation and the improper waste disposal. Let me hammer on the improper waste disposal. How it can affect us is that if waste are disposed of inappropriately, maybe as we have seen on the clips, littering the streets, the water can seep into our source of drinking water. That's the dirty water from this waste can seep into our streams, our springs, or our well. And by this, individuals going to fetch this water, they can become infected because of this. Like the open defecation, apart from, like, this is the rainy season, and this thing, cholera, comes often during rainy season, where the rainwater will wash off the feces into the source of water, also splashing on our vegetables and our fruit, like she rightly said. Okay, aside from the poor refuse disposal, another way that this
before
thing...
you go to that other way, you have said this can be washed into the source of water.
Yes.
What does this include? Like we have boreholes dug everywhere. Do you think that this can also affect that?
In a way, let me say so, because for you to have your borehole must be about 10 meters away from the source of the poor surface, where we have the waste disposal. Must be 10 meters away. Likewise, latrines, the pit toilets, must be away from where we have the borehole being dug. And you know, aquifer, where this water comes out, runs across all the lands. So if the waste is deposited nearer where we have the borehole, the water can seep into the ground, into the aquifer, and it could be contaminated.
Okay.
So we have to really emphasize on the need to dig a borehole away from where we have refuse dump. Likewise, the toilets, soakaways, and so on.
My problem is, whose responsibility is it to check this borehole digging in our environment, whether it is up to standard? Like you are saying, 10 meters or whatever, it should be far away from latrine and all that. Whose duty
Actually,
is it?
we have appropriate authorities designated to handle such.
Do you think they are doing that?
I wouldn't say because in as much as I'm not in that domain, I cannot really say if they have been going out to ensure, but it is something that should be practiced in our state to come and inspect if there are boreholes or where you want to dig your borehole, if there are soakaways or refuge. And this is the aspect of environmental health, which falls within the area of jurisdiction in Ministry of Health, as well as even that of the Ministry of Environment.
Okay.
We have appropriate authorities to do this.
Okay. Why
So-
I'm asking that is because if you can also observe, you see that anybody that builds a house, no
Needs
matter how
a-
small your space
needs
is,
a
you
borehole.
need a borehole. And I don't know for now. I don't know whether the water board that we have is still functioning, because when we used to have that central water, everybody had the water from the same source, and I believe they used to wash the tank
Yes.
and
Treat
maybe
it
treat
with
it.
the chemical.
Yes, but
That's
now
chlorinated.
everybody is let me not say everybody, so many people have boreholes, and you can see that the space between where the soakaway is and where the borehole is dug may not really be maybe that distance you're talking about. Okay.
And
I
the,
don't-
the interesting thing is that sometimes you may say, this is where my soakaway is, and this is where I want to dig my borehole. But because of how compacted compounds are close, you may not know that where you are shifting to dig your borehole,
Another
the
person said-
soakaway of the other
The next
compound
neighbor.
is very close. So I think it's something that we should look into, so that when you want to dig a borehole, you contact maybe.
So does this have
the
effect
authority.
on our health?
It does.
It does,
Because
certainly.
when your water is contaminated, it does.
Okay. Yes, I think we should also mention other waterborne diseases. We've mentioned cholera is just one.
Dysentery is there.
Okay, so let's mention some of them. Let's,
Typhoid
okay.
fever is there. There are so many.
Okay. Maybe this is
Waterborne
why-
diseases.
Maybe this is why so many people keep saying I had typhoid and all that and all
Malaria.
that.
Okay, so in order not to deviate from
Okay,
what
yeah.
we have at hand right now, talking of the hygiene again, to prevent cholera in Akwa Ibom State, the community members, they have a task at hand, and that is of the food safety. Food safety, make sure that from the period of preparation of the food, the utensils must be thoroughly washed and cleaned. And you, the person that is going to prepare the food, you must wash your hand regularly. In fact, in between preparations, with soap and clean water. And
So as
wash,
you're preparing once in a while.
because you
go
can,
back
you
and-
in the course of preparing the food, you could your attention could be needed, and you leave what you were doing and you went to do something else. Coming back, there's need for you to wash your hand before you continue.
Okay.
And aside from that, wash your hand, wash the vegetables and fruit properly. Like I used to tell people, in this rainy season, the rain beats the sun on it. Some warm cysts could come up. So what do? You wash your vegetables with salt to ensure that the caterpillars and the worms, everything settles to the basin of water while you pick out your vegetables. And then rinse it properly. After that, even your fruits, all these cucumber, carrots and so on, you wash very well and then store it properly. Preparing that food, make sure that the water you are using is from a reliable source. So at this juncture, I want to say, if you do not have a good source of water, the water you have, please, let it be boiled till the vapor comes out. And after that, you put the chemical to treat. Mostly we use chlorine to treat it, the water. Leave it for a while and then filter it and store in an appropriate covered container. The water the food that you are using the water to cook, make sure you cook the food properly. Avoid this so-called half done. make sure that it's properly cooked. And when you are not about to eat it immediately, please cover it well, properly, so that flies do not come to perch on that food. Flies themselves can transmit this cholera. And if you are not eating it immediately, cover it well. Whenever you want to eat it, make sure you reheat it and make it hot before you eat it.
Okay. Yes, Lovina, I want to come to you. I saw something from a post last week that says Nigeria currently ranked #1 globally among countries with the highest number of people defecating in the open space, and is widely off track to meet the targets set by Sustainable Development Goals. We all know this. So do you think that this is applicable in this part of the world? Do we still have people defecate openly? Do you see it around where you live or in Akwa Ibom as a whole?
No, I want to say that Akwa Ibom is relatively a very clean state. Yes. We rarely see open defecation around. It's relatively very clean. So we do not have much of open defecation. People have their either the water closets or the pit toilets. So
or the VIP where they use water.
Maybe I think maybe you're just talking about to you. Do you know if that is not happening in the villages?
Working in the primary health care, you go to communities.
Okay.
Yes, we go to communities and it doesn't happen. They have at the villages they have their pit toilets.
Oh, that's
nice. So you rarely see open defecation in Akwa Ibom State, so, and that is something to comment.
That's great. Yes. That's great. So I think we have to leverage on that. What do we tell our people if they are not doing it and then they have the pit toilet? How do they keep it clean? What do they need to do?
Concerning the pit toilets, I would advise the people of our dear state, Akwa Ibom, that they should continue to maintain that neatness standard. Sweeping the toilets because it's inbuilt. If it was not inbuilt, let them find something like a roof to put it over and branches to cover them for privacy.
Okay.
And then the toilet should have a lid.
Yeah.
Should have a lid. The pit toilet to avoid the bad odor coming out. 1, 2, flies going in and then coming out to land on our food and utensils and so on. It should be kept clean regularly.
So when they finish using, what do they do?
When they finish using, they wash their hand. They leave the toilet, they wash their hand.
Okay.
We no longer use this pearl system.
Okay.
Where
That's
somebody,
a good one. Yeah,
where somebody needs to go and pick out, and then you don't know what the person will do with himself. So it's a pit toilet, and the pit must be dug so deep. Must be dug so deep and must have a lid and inbuilt, and then they come out. Like Lovina said, we rarely see open defecation. Even in the offices, the Akwa Ibom State government have provided us with adequate water closets in the different offices. So even when you are out of your own house, you can still find a convenient place.
Okay, I think we had a clip here this morning that showed a beautiful convenience in our public places. Like, okay, this is it. These are part of what the government is doing. This is at the worship center.
Okay. The worship center.
Yes, this is at the worship center.
Yes.
And so when you get there, this is what you see.
Excellent.
It's of standard. Everything here is uniquely done. And if you get to most of the hotels in town and even some restaurants, you see very beautiful. So this is commendable, and I think this is what you people are drawing and asking that we should do. So this is hand. I don't know whether this person has watched well. You know, proper hand washing.
Yes, see what she's doing.
Is that right?
Yes.
She's washing in between the fingers.
Okay. Okay.
Scrubbing areas often neglected.
Okay. Okay.
You know
I
what?
think what she
She used the washed hand to off the tap. Ideally, that's supposed not to
So
be
what
so.
would have been done?
Okay. Like I've been practicing, showing people for proper hand washing. After washing the hand thoroughly well with the fingertips and then rinse, there's going to be a disposable serviette. You pick the serviette, dab your hand, and then use the serviette to off the tap.
Trash it
If
properly.
mistakenly you had dropped the serviette, use your elbow and turn off the, not the hand that you have just finished washing.
Because now the hand is contaminated again.
Yes.
Okay, that's amazing. That's nice. You know, she must have been finding herself that she washed very well, but at the end, she ended up
because when she opened the tap, her hands were already contaminated.
Okay. What if when I'm washing, I now wash that knob?
To wash the knob.
Yes.
You are not going to wash the knob as you should scrub. You just pour water on it and then do it. So
the proper way
and
is
we
that
talk of ubiquity of microorganisms. Even after washing that thing, and then after a while, before you finish washing, air can settle on that thing. And present in that air could be microorganisms.
Yeah, I was even about asking you, when you even say we should use serviette, how are we sure that even the serviette is not contaminated?
Yeah, so
Do you understand?
that's why we should be washing our hands regularly.
Okay.
And in the absence of water, we use alcohol-based sanitizer of about 75% alcohol to wash.
Okay, so it's time for us to go back to carrying sanitizers in our handbags because during
Prevention is better than
COVID-19,
cure.
that was it. Okay, let's talk about food safety. It's part of environmental management that can also prevent us from having this food safety. Kobina, what do you have to say about food safety?
Okay, so what we eat is very important, and how safe it is also very important, because prevention is the safest and cheapest approach to health issues. So like we had mentioned, that our foods could be contaminated by this Vibrio cholerae that causes cholera. Not just the vegetables, even the fish in the coastal areas, you know, even there's much of open defecation in coastal areas. So even the fish, the seafoods are contaminated where there are open defecations. So it's important that, like my director had mentioned, that we cook our foods well. Our food should be well cooked, you know. Our fish, our seafoods, our vegetables should be well cooked. If there was any microorganisms, by the time you cook it well, it must have killed it, so your food is safe for eating. And then we should try to avoid buying peeled fruits like cucumbers, like a watermelon, pineapple that they peel and sell by the roadside. So we should avoid that. It's part of the food safety. And then we should also avoid buying zobo drinks, tiger nuts. You don't know how clean, how safe it was during the preparation, so we avoid those things. You know, if you must drink it, you prepare it by yourself. Yes, you must eat those fruits. Make sure you're the one peeling it, washing it well and peeling it and eating it. So those are some of the things we do to make our foods safe.
In fact, let me correct an impression that is going on in the social media. You know, we have a lot of infodemics. People wrote that I've run away from tiger nuts. Don't run away from tiger nuts, nor the zobo. Like yesterday, I prepared my zobo and I drank it. The truth of the matter is, it's not the tiger nut that is bad, nor the zobo
or any of those drinks,
but the water used in preparing it. How safe, how clean was it? But you must do it on your own, not buying from vendors, because you can't be guaranteed that the person actually used that which was clean. So why not buy it and prepare? Yes, why not prepare it by yourself? Why not buy it, no matter how small it is? Don't say until you go for the big watermelon. We have small ones. You buy the whole, wash it properly in your house, and cut your thing and eat. And if you don't want to, you preserve it properly.
Okay, let's still stay on with that food safety. I don't know if you notice it maybe around you. You see where people sell akara in the morning, like the fruit you are talking about. Most of them, you see them around where we have gutters, and those gutters are not clean. And I don't know how good that is. What will you have to say about that? Or am I the only one that noticed that?
Yeah, that's not a good practice. I think sometimes back there was a time Akwa Ibom State government came back with a policy that if you must sell foods like that, the snacks by the wayside, you should put it in a showcase. Some not just open like it should be in a showcase. You provide a showcase to put it so that it is covered. Flies don't get out from the gutter, perch on it, and then somebody comes, you sell it to the person. When it is left open like that, like what we see around, it is not safe. So there should be a showcase that covers it or protects it from, the flies, from the environment. That way it is safer to eat. But if it is just the akara is just made and then left open like that, like the buns and all those other snacks that they prepare by the roadside, and they are left open like that, it is not safe. It's not safe for eating.
Okay. So I don't know what you would tell the people. Sometimes I don't know whether to say we are moving forward or whether we are going backward. Because when I was growing up in the village, I remember that there used to be something like the fear of they call it sanitary
inspectors. Inspectors.
So in the village, people were always very conscious when a sanitary inspector is visiting, and they will keep everywhere so tidy. Now, even here in town, you find out that some places, in fact, I don't even know, some villages are better than what we are seeing in town. What will you say, or what will you advise maybe government to do? What should we practice to help us get back to having a better hygienic condition in our environment?
I would say, like the slogan we have in malaria, to eradicate malaria starts with me. I would say all hands must be on deck. It's not the government alone that have the right to this health. It's for every individual. So I would say the government, starting with the government, they should step up action in terms of, especially during this rainy season, especially on sanitation days, to ensure that the needful is being done. Yes, I've been saying other people clean up their place and so on, and they move around. Please let us have that fear that what is good for the goose is good for the gander. It's not for, you are not doing the sanitation for the government, to better yourself and your family, your community at large. And also, let the government put in place machineries to ensure that people actually adhere to the sanitation that we need to carry out. And individuals themselves, let them know that for you to be wealthy, health is wealth. If you don't have that health, you can't be well, irrespective of the money you make. You run after, you hustle to make money, yet there's a salient something that you should have done, and you've not done it. So why did you in the first place venture into it? So yourself, myself, my sister here, and the government and the entire community, we have a task to perform in terms of having our environment hygienically kept.
Okay, as a health educator, I think you have so much to do aside just maybe this prevention you are doing, immunization and all that. How have you been able to educate the public again concerning this? Because I think people have deviated from how it used to be. How can I eat banana inside a vehicle
And then
I
throw.
drop it on the road. So I don't know. We used to have jingles from Ministry of Health
It's
promoting
ongoing.
those morals and habits in the society. What else can we do to ensure that we get back to? I think what those people were doing was better than what we are doing now. What can we do?
Okay, let me start. Because we have cholera in our neighboring states, and that puts us at risk. As I start, all the 31 LGA health promotion officers, they are creating awareness in all the primary health centers for people to come up with environmental, personal, food and water hygiene. Aside from that, we in the health sector, we've been on media. There's no day I've not been on media. As here I am, educating the public so that they can take care not to fall victim to cholera. Not only cholera, other waterborne diseases and foodborne diseases. And in addition, I must appreciate my honorable commissioner who came on air to educate the people of Akwa Ibom State on what they need to do, the preventive strategies, thereby showing us that the government, they are concerned about our welfare. And not only that, the health promotion officers, myself, we are moving out campaigns to create awareness in markets, churches, places like that, to make sure wherever people congregate, we talk to them. This is what is expected of you. And as I speak to you, the school health services in Ministry of Health, they have embarked collaborating with Ministry of Education to ensure that this information gets to the school children, because you know the children are our change agents. They can get back to the house and see what a mother or father is doing, and it's not appropriate or in terms with what he or she was told in the school. Mommy, Daddy, my auntie came to school and told me this is how it should be done. You know, that will lead to social behavioral change. The mother said, oh, how can I do? So we are doing a lot to ensure that the people of Akwa Ibom State, they get to know what they really need to do in order to stay safe.
Okay, Lovina, before we go, quickly just tell us, in case maybe I have symptoms of cholera, what do I do? Is there anything one can do?
Okay, so if you have symptoms of cholera, like we had mentioned, is a watery stool. They call it rice water, because the stool looks almost whitish like the rice water. Yes, and it's very watery. So if you have watery stool like that, you immediately report to a health facility closest to you, because like my director had mentioned, it takes a few hours. If you do not get appropriate treatment, you could lose so much fluid that it could lead to death. So once you notice an unusual watery stool, don't even wait to do your tetracycline. Don't try self-medication. Get to the nearest health facility closest to you to get treatment. You know, you may need to be rehydrated using drip.
Would this treatment be free? On cholera, is it free?
No, I wouldn't say, because
but it can be treated as an emergency.
Yes,
it's certainly it's an emergency.
Okay.
And to add to that, please, because like when I was in the service area, some people will complain from my house to the facility is far. I couldn't get a bike on time. I couldn't do this. If you can't access the health facility immediately because of maybe certain unforeseen circumstances, which our governor is trying to make sure they nip it at the bud, because he has built so many health facilities, it has been commissioned just so that the distance from community members' home to the facility is reduced. But if for any unforeseen circumstances you cannot get to the facility on time, please, there are certain things you need to do at home to ensure that you don't lose so much fluid. Number one, If you get to the facility, you'll be given oral rehydration therapy, the sachets, or you could be transfused with to restore the fluid, the minerals lost. But if you cannot get to the hospital immediately, and you know that you are seriously having bouts of the diarrhea and vomiting, please prepare what we call oral rehydration salts.
Salt sugar solution.
We have been teaching people salt sugar solution. You can prepare this, and after preparing it, it tastes like coconut water. You drink it. How to
can
prepare
you give us
it?
the specification?
Fine. To get a salt sugar solution, a half level teaspoonful of salt, to 10 cubes of sugar, or 6 level teaspoonful of granulated sugar mixed together in 1 liter of water. Oftentimes in our area, we use 1 beer bottle to put all, or 2 Coke or Fanta bottles to mix. Put it in a clean bowl, get a clean water, put there, and then put this 1 half level teaspoonful of water, salt, put in that 1 liter of water which you measured with a beer bottle, or 2 Coke bottle, or 2 Fanta bottles, and then you put the granulated sugar and the cubes. Mix it, stir it properly. When it's fully dissolved,
granulated sugar or
all the cubes,
okay,
and then you test it. Use a spoon or a spatula to mix it well, and then pour it into a cup and drink it as much as you can. It will give you the lost energy
until you get to
the health facility for appropriate treatments to be given.
Okay,
thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I think that's all we can take on this bit of the program today. But I'd like you to tell the people what to do to stay without having cholera in the land. It's a plus for us, so we have to maintain it. So quickly, just one word or maybe one sentence.
Okay, dear people of Akwa Ibom State, I want to appreciate you for the fact that cholera outbreak is not in Akwa Ibom. But that doesn't mean that you should not do what you're supposed to do. Cholera comes to us as a result of the Vibrio cholera bacteria being ingested into the body, either through food or water. So what you need to do now is, 1, please make sure you take water that is from a reliable source. If it is questionable, please treat it with the chlorine chemical. Boil it, put the chemical chlorine, and then filter it. Store in an appropriate container so that you can drink it. Even those of us that go for bottled water, make sure the seal is not broken. Make sure the seal is not broken.
What about those ones that they keep on the sun? Is it okay?
Keep on the sun.
Storage, they keep it on the, you just go to supermarket, they are outside for a while. Is it good?
After a while, since it's not broken,
okay,
the water will not, Vibrio cholera will not come in from anywhere to enter. And the same goes for our food.
Okay.
Please make sure you cook your food properly. Wash it, all the utensils appropriately, cook it, eat it hot. Cover it well if you don't eat it. And if you must eat it, reheat it and eat it hot. Okay. Then wash your hand properly, regularly with soap and water.
Thank you
and
so much,
a good sanitary condition.
Thank you, Lovina Ibio. Both of you are health educators, and I'm glad both of you made it to the studio this morning. I want to believe that our people will take informed action. They will be intentional about keeping the state safe from cholera. Thank you very much. And friend, thank you so much for being part of Heartbeat this morning. I hope you won't go anywhere because it is not yet over. My name is Grace Hussein. Remain with us.
Thank you.
Everything you go through in life is preparing you for your next assignment. My father was a police officer, so I lived in the barracks. A barracks like a mini in Nigeria, you know, you find everybody there. My dad's salary, of course, couldn't meet the family income, so I had to sell soft drinks for my mother so that we can make up the family income. I used to take soft drinks from our home and I'll go to the airport and sell. It was fun. I didn't know I was going to ever get into hotel business. So eventually, my cook hawking helped me later in life when I started running my hotel. Those little things you did became building blocks for my later days in life. And you know what? My house was built on the same street I used to go through to hawk. And so everybody that saw me hawk these soft drinks for my mother, when I bought a land there and built my house, all of those people were still alive. It's like, some of them had to breed their children. Look at me mentor these kids. Today, when I drive around the streets, sometimes you find people sell and you stop by. I just remember, it used to be like this. That hawking has helped me today to be able to serve the people. Accept the things you can't change and change the things you can, and ensure that you just have the fear of God in you. I think the only person that can stop you from achieving what God has set out for you is you.
Akwa Ibom is rising.
Hello friend, it's good to come your way again, and this time we're on to highlight on Heartbeats this morning, and what we want to take a look at, just like I informed you earlier, is about cyber crime. And you know, as technology advances, cyber crimes as well have become commonplace and sophisticated. So you see young people, instead of concentrating on what they can benefit or what is legal, they tend to go into this, and that is why we want to take a look at this, and as well as take precautions essential to inform ourselves to take measures for prevention and combat this kind of pandemic that is always around us. The youth, the young people are really into it. So what do you think? Join us on this discussion as we talked about the psychological motivations and drivers behind young people's involvement in cyber crime. My guest in the house, as well as my resource person on this particular issue, is Mrs. Inemeset Udofa. She is a forensic psychologist and CEO, Youth Ambassador for Greater Minds Empowerment Foundation, YAPMEF. Inemeset, you're welcome to the show once again. I'm so pleased to have you.
Good morning viewers. It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're looking at the drive behind people's or young people's involvement when it comes to cyber crime. And before we just go deep into this, let's establish what cyber crime is.
Okay. In a nutshell, I want to state that cybercrime, there are criminal activities that are committed through the use of the computer, the internet, and then any other form of digital technology. Those crimes are targeted towards the individual, group of persons, businesses, even the government. That is what I can say. It's cybercrime.
Yeah. Okay.
Then to the layman language, we can say it's Yahoo Yahoo.
Yeah, yes, what
yes.
they call Yahoo
Yahoo,
Yahoo.
yes.
Okay. All right. Looking at your foundation, one of the activities of it is to fight against cybercrime.
Okay.
That's I'm talking about the foundation, YAPMEF,
yes.
that I mentioned earlier. So I'd like to know how far or how these activities have been carried out in your foundation.
Okay. In YAPMEF, we know that the world is now a global village. That everything, almost everything, is carried on through the internet, and then we now discover that our youth involvement, they don't they are the aspect of doing it right and the other aspect of not doing it right. Now from YAPMEF, we sensitize the youth on the proper use of the internet. There are so many people that don't know that what they are doing on the internet is a crime. Some things they perform are criminalized.
Okay.
So we spell out these excesses to them. We let them know that there are penalties attached to it. These and these are what you do, and it's seen as a crime. So that is what we do in the YAPMEF.
So briefly, I know you're not a legal practitioner and it's not your place to talk about this, but considering your foundation, I'm sure you just mentioned the provision of this act or law against cybercrime.
Okay, in Nigeria we have the Cybercrime Act of Nigeria. That is the law against cyber criminals. So we sensitize them on the existence of this law in Nigeria. So many people don't know we have such laws. Yes,
and they can
what
go in for
yes,
it.
and they can go in for it. And what the forms, the aspect, the factors, the punishment attached to each crime, each of these cyber crimes. That is what we bring to their notice, that there is such law in Nigeria. If you do it, you're going to go in for it. So we sensitize the young ones, the youth, on the Cybercrime Act of Nigeria.
So as well as there are different provisions for this,
yes,
so it means there are different types of cybercrime activities. So what are they?
Now we have different forms. We have the phishing, the identity theft.
This phishing, what?
Okay, for cyber, the phishing, you know.
Because it looks like going to the sea to fish.
No. Okay, this phishing is when somebody sends a message or an email, text to you,
okay,
that is not true, with the intent of having you to provide your sensitive information to them. So they can, let me say for example, this one that is popular, you get a text message from a bank, but it's not your bank, telling you that your date of birth is not correct, your information is lacking on your profile, that they will need to update it. You need to give them sensitive information, maybe your BVN, your PIN, ATM PIN, card number. They will convince you to give that to them, to let go of that information. That is cybercrime.
Okay, the
phishing aspect. And then we have that of the identity theft, where somebody will pretend to be another person. That's, for instance, maybe let me use the celebrity.
Okay.
You know that this person is popular, they have an account impersonating this person and then contacting another person. You might say, think you're dealing with the celebrity itself, but it's not. It's another person hiding under the name of that particular influential person, and you might not think that this person can do you bad. So you conveniently want to interact with the person, thinking that you're interacting with your original person, but not, but it's impersonation.
Okay, like I said that we're not actually looking at the legal side of cybercrime, but the psychological motivation and drivers behind these young people involvement. So now let's look at causes, the factors that arise to and ginger these young people into cyber? Why does cyber crime occur frequently?
Okay, the first thing that comes to my mind when it has to do with the young person is getting rich quick syndrome. You know, that drive of they want to be who they are not. That is one of the psychological factors that drives these young people into committing cybercrime. And then we look at peer group influence. Your friends, your circle of friends, they are into it, and you want to follow suit, and then do what they are doing. Another psychological aspect is the socioeconomic status, maybe the family or the community where you are. You know, it also contributes. You don't have what it takes to be where you're supposed to be, and then you want to do things the wrong way by, let me use this word, scamming people online to get rich quick. And another factor is parental guidance, negligence from the parents' part. Now, from the family, we know the family has a lot to do with the upbringing of a child. If the parent neglects this particular aspect of guiding or educating their child towards not being involved in these criminal activities, that is the cybercrime, that can also be part. And then we look at lack of awareness. What YAGMEF does is we discover that we don't have much awareness on this particular area. We have so many people talking about drug abuse. We have so many people talking about rape, trafficking in person. But how many organizations is creating this awareness to curtail these children from indulging in cybercrime? So lack of awareness can also be the part of making this youth, though they are not educated on this aspect, to get involved in cybercrime. And then we look about personality traits. There are individuals that have, when you look about their motive, their personality, there are some certain traits, that is when you talk about depression, anxiety, that can also necessitate the involvement in cybercrime. So many aspects.
Okay, I like us to talk about the economic aspect of the society. How does this shape or influence the involvement of young people in cybercrime, and what can be done?
Okay, presently we all know how our economy is. The naira is falling, you know, and then when these young people look at what is happening outside, they look at, oh, these people always on their system. They will be curious, what are they doing? I have come in contact with so many of them. They want to get involved and join the train. When you don't have enough funds to live the life which you're, like when I mentioned the peer group influence, you see so many people, the social media now, people advertising their wealth, their status, the kind of clothes they wear. You wouldn't want to find out how they get to do it. You want to go the other way around. That is the cybercrime, telling somebody you have this when you don't have. And then that is it.
And looking at how these activities are being carried out, social media is really, I would say, is a playground for this. And the fundamental of privacy is anonymity. So how can this be reduced, or what can be done in that aspect? Because I know you can't take away that concept, that anonymity concept entirely, because it's a fundamental when it comes to your privacy. So what can be done?
Online privacy is, like you said, is a fundamental. Protecting your identity, your information which you provide online. it's also an avenue for cyber criminals to hide behind and perpetrate their evils. You know, what can be done from the aspect of anonymity? I also encourage like you have to make sure that there are guidelines. You collate data of persons that visits your site. You make sure their data are collated. I'm not saying you should expose it, but make sure that you get their information, so that peradventure maybe something is they come back to look for it. This person did this and we are looking. You can provide it to the security agencies, not to any other person. And then what another factors that you can do is you make sure that the person, the culprit, goes in for it. You spell it out, that when you use our platform to do what is not right, we are going to fish you out. Let them know that there are laid down rules and regulations on this particular platform. Recently, I like what the social media, maybe the Twitter, the Facebook are doing. You know, when you want to put up a particular post, you are restricted from using vile languages, yes. If you know, some people have lost their accounts because of this particular act. You are cautioned on what to put online. Some images are not accepted, some words are not to be used. So there are precautions towards that, towards the anonymity. So we can do that, and it will help.
And how about the user of an account?
Okay, user of account, like I stated earlier.
How do you know this is maybe somebody coming to you is an hacker, or somebody that wants to?
It is not the real person.
Yes.
Okay.
How do you go about knowing?
From the victim aspect now.
A lot of accounts have been hacked these days.
Well, when I go out to talk to young persons, I always set some examples. Somebody sends you a friend request. Let's use that of Facebook as an example, and then try to follow you up, trying to ask you things, some sensitive question about yourself. Personally, I go back to the profile picture of that individual. You check when it was created. Some hackers have recent profile that they just create. Maybe they have their target, they just go there, create a new profile, make sure they want to use that particular profile to communicate with you. Look at the date, the history of that profile. If it's a recent one, you know that's a red flag. And then look at they used to put up their images. Some of them they can use fake image. Some of them they can use maybe flower, vehicles. You know, go to the comment section. One or two persons will say something about that person. You go to the comment section. If it is the profile picture, probably maybe one person from the family say, oh, I can say, call him his nickname in the village. Oh, how are you, guy? How far? It's been long. You will know that that's a real account. But by the time you go to the comment section and you don't see any comment that is related to the person itself, you know that that's a red flag. So you should look out for such things and be careful.
I'm sure from your professional experience, you have you have stories to tell or something to look out for when it comes to personality traits or characteristics that are common among young people who wants to get involved or who are into cybercrime.
Yes. For instance, somebody that is depressed, or maybe low self-esteem, someone that have low self-esteem and will be seeking validation. You see that if I go out physically, people might not want to talk to me, might not want to be okay. Let me use the internet and create traffic to myself. Let them love me, let them come to me, let them look at my own side. You know, there are so many people you see on the internet that have so much traffic, but when you see them physically, you won't believe that this is the same person that has that profile. You know, psychologically, they know they want acceptance. from the internet first before they come out in the real life. You accept them through the internet. You look at, this person is beautiful. You won't see the full structure of the person. This person is intelligent. They are trying to sell out their self to you through the internet. So that is one aspect, psychological aspect. And then another one is when we talk about somebody that is not exposed. They will not want people to know that this is who I am. They will hide, like when we talk about anonymity, they will hide under that cover and then do so many things online, positively or negatively.
Well, I don't know, but let's look at the categories of people, mostly victims of cybercrime.
Okay, you know, this is a jet age. Technology has come to stay. Firstly, I want to say maybe the older adults. Yes, those are the people that can easily fall prey because they are not used to the modern technology they train. They are not used to the sophisticated gadgets that the young people have access to. So you can easily go there and then talk to them, and they give out their information easily because they don't know what is happening. They hardly get used to this information through social media and whatever. Another categories of person are the younger ones. They feel so comfortable that they can repel cyber criminals, but forgetting that they have not gone deep into it like the criminals have gone. They say, okay, let me just give him this information. He cannot do anything. Then another set of persons, yes, lack of another set of people that are falling prey are the women.
Okay.
Women through love scam, you know, most of them, let me use our black skin now. You see a profile of a white man online trying to profile love to you. You think it's real, and then you fall. You know, we have this soft spot in us. They believe we are weaker vessel when it comes to emotions. So women in particular are also this category of persons which the cyber criminal targets at. And then, you know, we like to have internet presence at all times. You want to look good, pepper your friends, tell them that you went to Dubai and all that. So these cyber criminals will have this information about you, and they will want to come to your inbox to know more and how to hit you. So the women, the older people, the women, they are this part of people that are vulnerable.
Let's look at the aspects of education about cyber security. How does it contribute to this involvement?
Education, the awareness, the education. I was talking to an influential person in the state. I said cyber crime should be inculcated into the syllables in schools. We teach, let us start to teach. Let us start to teach and make the young ones to identify these cyber criminals, how to identify it, and also what are the consequences. Now, if we have a lot of information, education, enlightenment on cyber crime, you will see that there will be reduction in young people's involvement, giving alternative ways to make money, providing employment, and maybe vocational trainings to them, telling them that you can make money even outside using your phone, your computers. You can make legit money, legit money, not to go and take money from somebody's sweat. You don't have to scam somebody to be rich. You too, you can make money on your own outside scamming somebody. So you can educate the young one. We need a lot of people, we need a lot of organization to talk about this. People already know that when they take psychoactive substances, drugs, it can alter their cognitive reasoning. They know that people are aware that when you are caught with drugs, you'll be penalized. How many people knows that when you are caught sharing pornographic videos or images to other person, that is a cyber crime? How many people are aware that you just sit down, somebody write something bad about you on the internet, that is a cyber crime? Nobody. Many people don't know. And even if they know, how many people have been penalized on these particular activities? So we need to create that awareness, educate. When you get involved in this is the punishment you're going to go in for. And you can also seek justice if you are a victim of it. So there are a lot of education that we need in this aspect, cybercrime in Nigeria.
Yes, talking about consequences, let's look at how it can affect a young person's future career and personal life.
A lot. Let me tip in this. You know, Nigerians, the way the international community sees us, the way they look at us now, is not pleasant. There are some things you want to get over there. They will be skeptical in doing business with you because they see us like fraudsters. Our youth, that's the initial word I use, the Yahoo boys. They categorize us like that. Now, these are the things that are affecting us. Even the people that are doing it right, you cannot have what you want because of the bad name that has been created towards us.
Yes, we've come a long way on this issue, and you've really touched the greater part of the activities of cyber crime and the emotional, the psychological effects or the drive behind young people's involvement in it. So before we go, I'll just like you to give a parting word, what you feel could be done more, maybe from the policy maker angles and the parents when it comes to cybercrime.
Okay, when it comes to cybercrime, I would like to encourage firstly parents, because they say charity begins at home. You need to look at what your child is doing and the activities of your child online. Follow them up on their social media pages. You once in a while look into their gadgets, what they are doing. Look at the friends they keep. And then the government, the policy makers, let there be synergy between our government, the NGOs, the security agencies, to fight against this menace, this cybercrime, so that we will have it under control.